Now let's see how the projection of a number works in 2 dimensions. We define the projection of a number in 2 dimensions as the procedure by which we get all the data from a number and map it on a 2-dimension sheet. The 2-dimension sheet I'm talking about here is not yet the 2-dimension sheet discussed by the holographic principle. Not yet, but this is the source. This is the one that will produce the 2-dimension sheet that the holographic principle talks about. So we will have a data, and that data consists of several significant values which allow us to make predictions. And all the predictions, you will see them, they will come to us in form of formulas, and we call that information. So if we have a number like 4 has 5 levels of variability, as we saw already. So this number will vibrate, and when it vibrates, on one side it will accelerate, and on the other side it will decelerate. As you see here, acceleration goes by counting forward, and deceleration counting downward. We see the values that we get: 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 2, 1, 0. These are the maximum and the minimum prime values. So we have more values. When we say maximum and minimum, meaning there are values between. I told you that the projection of a number normally is done on 90 degrees. But I prefer first to show you it this way because of the number of values that we are going to get here. Why we have other values? It's because a number will move or will vibrate. So it will move not just from a level to another, but it will move also within the levels. For example, you see here, there is, when it moves level 1, this is level 1, it will become 3 and 5. And in order for it to go from 3 to 5, it needs really to pass through 4. Therefore, we have to add 4 here. To go from 2 to 6 on the second level, it has to pass through 3, 4, 5. To go from 1 to 7, it has to pass through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From 0 to 8, it must pass through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have the whole data from number 4. But this is only valid for 90 degrees because of the number of values we have here. So this is not determined by me No, it's not my invention. It is nature. It is there in nature, and you will see it. That's why here we cannot make predictions, because you see it in when it is in this form of circle with as a structure, you cannot see it clearly. So we will go to the fabric of the cosmos, because we are talking about space and time, and space and time is always illustrated by a graph. So here we will show you how we do the mapping of the data on a graph like this. The same thing we have done with the circles there, we will do it with Excel program. There you can choose any cell. You have a cell here, then the next row will be for the first level, next second level, third level, and fourth level. So you can do it with Excel program. It's very nice. It's the best even. But I can't do it because this is a PowerPoint presentation. So what will happen when we do the acceleration and the deceleration? We got these values. These are the maximum and the minimum prime values. And to complete all the prime values, we need to fill up the data. We have first this. Number 4 is our master number. Then we have accelerated and decelerated on one side. Then now we fill up the data. Here is missing one value, as you see. Here will be 3, here will be 5 and 7, and let's fill up that. You see, all the values in blue are the one we have filled up. You see that here we added 1, here we added 3, 5 and 7 here. So now we have the complete data. You can do it in another way. Other way is this. You can do it by starting here, because anyway you see the same. We are talking about the 90 degrees. You see here, this is 90 degrees. And why 90 degrees? Because the number of values here, we don't need to have any space between these values. And also here we do the same. Now we use the corner here as our middle, so the 4 goes this way now in diagonal position. And here we have on this side acceleration, and here deceleration. It is the same thing. You can use it going this way or that way, depends on you, as long as there is a 90 degrees, because you will have always filled up the data perfectly. Like this is a compact data. So the data we are going to use to make predictions. So now the first thing we observe here, we have something like a triangle. Some people may see it as a pyramid, and you can have your own interpretation here, but as long as it makes sense. So here we have 25 cells, and here also we have 25 cells. So we have 25 values. Number 4, projected in 2 dimensions, tells us that when you project the number, then what will appear there on the other side is 25. We will have 25 locations. We saw in 1 dimension that it was 5. 2 dimensions become 5 squared. So it makes sense. And this is not an invention. It is something that really is automatically made in nature. It is there. And I'm just reproducing it for you. This is what I'm talking about. You have your data here. This. What it means that if you have a master number 4, then you project that 4. When it appears on the floor or on the screen, on the wall, wherever you want, what you have as possibility is that you have, these will appear in 25 locations. 25 locations. But here you see that the capacity of every location is 4. That's why we made, you see, 4. And it gives you actually 100. So the projection of 4 equals 100. That's in terms of energy. But in terms of location, it is just 25. It will be in 25. I want to mention that this is only a prediction we are making, as I said. This is not real. In the real world, 4 has no capacity of being in 25 locations. It's not possible. 4 cannot be in 25 locations. But don't worry. 4 has veto power. Just like we said, the United States of America has a veto power. So it can decide. And the same number 4 here as a master can decide to use its veto power in order to be in these 25 locations. Because he must feed in the end. He must, number 4 must feed this, but not as a 4. He will get that power, and that is, it will be the singularity. Only with his singularity, 4 can do that. Using its singularity. The ultimate power of 4 is the singularity of 4. And I would like to tell you that what we are seeing here is just a projection. But we will see also the explosion. So number 4 has 2 singularities. 2 singularities. But anyway, this is the one we are presenting to you is for the projection. In the real world, we need another value that comes here. To get that value, we will need to produce the 3-dimension projection. Now I want to show you how we can get data of different numbers. Here I made this in Excel. It's very well programmed. So it is programmed for number 10. As you see, when you decelerate 10, you have here 0. And there you have 20. That's the rules. That the number that will appear here will be 0 and the other will be the double of. So all this data, as you see it here, you can also make it in a square. But anyway, because it's our screen was not big enough, so we cannot show everything. It may look too small. So this is the same. So if I change, for example, the value here, all of these will change together. Will change together. So what I mean, that through this table of 10, you can make a table of 1, 2, 3, 4 until 9. You can make So all will be right, because 9, for example, will be stopping here, meaning the 0 will appear here for 9, and there will be 18. Here for 8, 0 will appear here for 8, then here for 7. So you can cut from anywhere, depends on you. So you have to, for every number, if you want to work on a particular number, then as a master number, you have to make your table according to that number, according to the levels of variability, and you have to stop only where you get 0 at the corner and double at the other corner. That's where your data stops for that number. That's the law. You cannot go beyond that. If you find negative numbers, then that's wrong. Your data already violated the law. We don't need negative numbers. You can also use this data for this table of 10 for bigger numbers, but you will be forced to use only up to 10 levels. So the values will appear normally, okay? But you are limited. You cannot see the whole data. So that's the best thing is you get a number, you go to the Excel program, then you program your number for your table according to your number and the number of levels of variability. So you see this, for example, for number 10. This is a big data. This is huge already. You saw for number 4, we could limit only up to here. That's the number 4. Only up to here. But to 10, that's already big. Too big. Big data. So now we still need to understand that what we are dealing with here is information, and information means also energy. Energy. This is proven by science. It's not my invention. We have seen, for example, that the energy that number 4 will produce will be 100. That 100 means 25 locations times the master number, which is 4. And as a formula, I gave it the name of cosmic pyramid. This is the cosmic pyramid of 4, the CP of number 4. That's a CP because for me, when I was going through finding all these things, what I was seeing is a pyramid I was seeing. And later, it will transpire here. Don't worry, it will come. That's why I still maintain this name. So I see the pyramid. And a pyramid, I mean, now the pyramid, see this corner here, this, then the 4 projected, and it touches the floor with 100 capacity, 25 locations with 100 capacity. So this, and the formula is n times n plus 1 squared. This formula must be very important, because the day I discovered this, I was told this is the origin of E equal mc squared. This is the origin. So Einstein was so right. I don't know how he realized it, but here it tells us that this is the origin. So numbers, energy of a number is also translated, represented in this formula, the same. And you must know that number here can take any value. Any value. That's why E equal mc squared comes from this formula. So now let's see the different kinds of levels of energy. I was talking about the pyramid. The notion of a pyramid is very important. Why? Because you can cut at any level. As we have seen that the data here gives us squared numbers. So all you cut here, you have a squared number. You cut here, still a squared number. Here, squared number. And here, squared number. All the numbers that you get here are squared numbers. Here you will have, this is when we said 25. It means here is 16. Here is 9. And there is 4. And here, the very first one is just 1. So all are squared numbers. That's why we need to calculate the energy at every level. It is very important. You will understand it later because it will be applied to technology. We are solving a problem. No more probabilities. That's the point. No more probabilities. We will deal with reality that provided by numbers. And you will see how beneficial it is. So here, if you want to calculate now at any level, so you are calculating the cosmic pyramid of a certain level, of number 4, for example, at level 2. So what you have to do is, you have the master number, which is 4, for example, multiplied by the level number, which is 2, then plus 1 squared. So you can know all of that, the energy. And then as a recapitulation of all these values that we have studied, I will show you this table. This table recapitulates everything we have studied in the projection, in two-dimension projection of a number. It's very simple. We have the level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will have n. Then you have the number of levels. So you have to add always plus 1. So you get the level number plus 1, n plus 1. The number of values per level, you have to also, you can calculate that this way. You will have the level number times 2 plus 1. Level number times 2 plus 1. So 2n plus 1. The total value, you have to just get these results here multiplied by the master number. And if you now know, you have to know the information zone. That's what I was showing you in the previous slide. I show you that you can cut anywhere, and these are the numbers I was talking about: 25, 16, 9, 4. So there is you are touching the floor with that number. These are the numbers of locations if you cut at that level. And I will show you later why we can cut and what is the importance of that. Because we are going to make devices. We have to make machines. And the capacity can require only 9 or 16. Why should we go for 25? We don't need 25. If it needs only 16, then we cut at 16. If it needs only 4, then we cut at 4. That's it. That's why it is very important, because the things I'm showing to you here, they are real. So we are going to make it real through technology. Direct. You don't need to calculate anymore, because this will be recorded in our computers. And you type, then you have all these numbers coming out. With the new computers we will have all these programmed. Then here you have the final, so now the capacity. You can cut. So if you cut here, we have 16 as energy, 36, 64, and then this is our formula. So you have to get the master number multiplied by the level number plus 1 squared. So this is what I wanted you to know about the projection of a number in 2 dimensions. And as I said already, the reason we are studying all of this, because we have to resolve the problem of probabilities and uncertainty. The uncertainty problem will be solved by what you see here. You look at it, you see very simple. It's very simple. However, we go into practice. When we go to the laboratory, then there we will find. So this is regarding the projection of a number in 2 dimensions. Next, to complete the whole information about a number, we will do the 3-dimension projection. 3-dimension projection will cover everything we need to know about a number. Then that will lead us to the information card of a number. Thank you very much.